Hallo, moin. We said the same thing. Wir sind Lisa und Greg.
Das heutige Video, German political parties explained.
Yes, and today's video is brought to you by Lucas Bender, and I will include a link in the description. Or actually, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go on over there and do all of the YouTube stuff. Now, this was actually a recommendation, and it was recommended by Ani. So thank you for the recommendation. Came through our Discord, actually. And did you know in the beginning when I say Lisa und Greg, someone told me I could be Gregor?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to start doing that.
Gregor. I do everything. I bet you even my Das heutige Video sounds Spanish. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
No one ever says my German is good.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah, they do. And they love your moin.
Oh,
When you
okay.
say
My
that.
moin is, yeah.
Yes.
But
I say it all the time. Can somebody listen? Everybody in the comments, tell her how amazing her German is. Watch. You're about to get 1,000 comments.
I just feel like I put it into, I make everything sound Spanish because we're learning Spanish. So.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Gregor
Spanish.
would be Gregor.
Gregor, I know, but maybe it's Gregor.
Gregor, yeah.
Well,
anyway.
listen, that's not why the people came here.
That's not why you guys came here.
All right, this is going to be an interesting video. We have done a video about like the political system in Germany, but we didn't really do one about the political parties.
Yeah, and I know that's so confusing.
Yes. And so, yeah, there's tons. I mean, in the U.S., they got two.
Yeah.
Two real ones.
Two real ones. Two primary
viable
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. But before we get going here, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're moving towards 10,000. I mean, we're getting super close to 10,000 now.
Yeah. Okay.
So you might as well be one of those. All right, let's go. Let's see what this is all about.
Okay.
What do they do? And what do people think of them? Well, let's find out.
Lucas Bender.
So until there are dozens of parties in Germany, but for national politics, we can focus on just 6. 7 if you're a pedantic know-it-all.
Dozens of parties, he said?
Yeah.
But for this, they're doing 6.
6, 7. If you're something.
And how do we
kind of know it all?
Yeah,
for
some
politics,
kind of know
we
it
can
all.
focus on just 6. 7 if you're a pedantic know-it-all. And how do we know these 6 are the important ones? Well, they're the only ones with seats in the national parliament. The other ones are either too small to get in or too regional to matter. I'm sorry, Magdeburger Gartenpartei, we're here for the big guys. Just like most democracies on this planet, German politics were once dominated by 2 major parties, one of the broad, more progressive center-left and one of the broad, more conservative center-right. But as we shall see, the whole power dynamic has changed quite a bit, especially in recent years when minor parties have become much more relevant and powerful. There will be time codes for all of these, but for now let's start with
Die Sozialdemokratische Partei Deutschlands, SPD.
Okay, I just want to say that that's really interesting that there were really 2 primary parties at one time.
Yes. But but somehow the other ones
which is
gaining dominance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to tell us, but I thought it's interesting because that's how it is in the U.S. The 2 parties.
Yeah.
Because I have always thought that there's no way out of it. It's like you just got 2
but they're
parties.
demonstrating there's a way out.
Yeah. So.
And what is can you show SPD what it stands for again? And
you want me to go back?
Yeah, just like stop. Okay, now play.
Okay.
let's start with
Die Sozialdemokratische
The Social Democratic Party. Okay.
Of Germany, yeah.
Partei Deutschlands, SPD.
This is the supposedly big party of the center-left. It's the oldest party in Germany, emerging from socialist movements of the 1860s before moderating into what it is today. If you're familiar with any of the many Labour parties around the world, like the UK one or the New Zealand one or the Dutch Partij van de Arbeid, you probably have a good idea of the SPD's basic profile, which is being the party of solidarity. A kind of solidarity that's expressed by a strong welfare state focusing on the working class as well as overall social and economic justice.
Compassion?
That's interesting. That's kind of like the Democratic Party.
That's like Democratic Party.
How they used to be. They've kind of gone away from some of that, but that's what they
it feels like the ancient ones that are still in office have gone away.
Yeah, they've gone away from the party of the working class. So
like Bernie is more like like that. What we want to be. Yeah.
Accordingly, their main focus has always been on the blue-collar worker, your coal miner, metal worker, cleaner, hands-on kind of jobs. But these days they're really struggling to keep that aura of the grand old Workers' Party alive. You might be getting different explanations for why that is, depending on if you're talking to a more left-wing social democrat or a more pragmatic moderate. Those two wings of the party tend to clash from time to time. But either way, just know that the SPD was the big left party for decades. On to their right-wing rival.
Die Christlich-Demokratische Union. CDU.
There's a
But I
Christian
thought that's the one
Democratic
that
Union.
Angela
Maybe.
Merkel, I think this is the one she was a part of, I think.
And so this sounds to me like it's more center left.
Yeah. But he said this is a right.
It says...
Here, watch. Let's go back.
On to their right-wing rival.
Die Christlich-Demokratische Union. CDU.
The CDU is a
So.
juggernaut in German politics. Most of our chancellors have been CDU, which makes them the sort of default power party. But just like the SPD, their shine's starting to wear off a little. When foreigners hear the name Christian Democratic Union, they often think that it's a sort of hardline religious group, which, let me be clear, it's definitely not. No, they're just sort of culturally Christian, right? So moderately conservative, sort of the more regressive, cautious force, in line with many of the right-wing parties across.
What do you say? Socially Christian?
Yeah. So that's odd.
Yeah.
Why would you call yourself a Christian if it's not related to religion? That's not. I mean, obviously, it's transformed into something else.
Yeah.
But that's just interesting.
Okay, I want to go back.
From an outsider, it seems religious.
Yeah. I just want to see that explanation again.
Here, it's definitely not. No, they're just sort of culturally Christian, right? So moderately conservative, sort of the more regressive, cautious force, in line with many of the right-wing parties across the continent. Traditionally, they're made up of social Christians, economic liberals, and conservatives. And no, I didn't just come up with these categories. No, the party quite ostentatiously advertises with these 3 pillars of the union. But you won't be wrong just calling them the Conservative Party of Germany. As such, the most concerned with things like public safety, tradition, frugal spending, things like that. Oh, and overall, they're quite moderate, which has won them many elections, but just like with the SPD, there's a growing desire from the more ideological wing of the party to become more unapologetically conservative again.
That kind of summarizes what has happened in the United States. So a lot of the country used to be in the middle. And then once Obama got elected, then the right wanted to go further right. And now you have the left wants to go further left, which is why people like AOC and Bernie are starting to come into power. So that's kind of sounds like...
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So I can only imagine we need to find something. But this is a good start.
This is good. Yeah, this is good. And they'll tell us in the comments, what do we need to watch?
Okay.
So far, so easy, right? 2 parties split along the standard Western left-right divide. And the thing is, we would have almost been stuck with that 2-party system if it weren't for...
Die Freie Demokratische Partei, FDP.
Yeah, this little guy has always managed to squeeze in.
He keeps changing color clothes.
Yeah. But he changed it to match what his thing is. Oh, man, he's smart. We should do that.
Funny.
The word free should have already given away what the Free Democrats stand for. Freedom. Or if you want to be fancy, we could also call it liberalism. How exactly that freedom is defined may vary between the different factions of the party. You've got your social liberals, economic liberals, and national liberals, which is what we call the sort of right-wing libertarian kind of liberal. But really, these differences are minuscule. The important bit is they all agree that the individual should be at the center of all policy. That makes them both very open and progressive in a kind of we shouldn't tell other people how to live stance, as well as very capitalist. So they're all about lower taxes, decreasing bureaucracy, and competition. If you are into that sort of politics, chances are that you're from a sort of upper middle class to upper class household. Maybe you're a big shot business person or self-employed, or you founded one of these trendy hipster startups. Or at least that's the sort of person that usually votes for the FDP. Well, that and farmers. Now, I already mentioned that the FDP was sort of the reason we didn't end up with a 2-party system, and I mean that quite literally. There were a few decades when we only had 3 parties in parliament, the 2 big ones and then the FDP as the small third option. But don't think small equals unimportant. No, that was actually a really comfortable situation for the FDP to be in, because they alone could choose who would rule the country. I mean, obviously not alone, but the success of the FDP always made it so that neither of the big parties could get an outright majority. And that's how the Liberals earned the rather unflattering title of the Kingmaker, who's only there to break the tie. But these days they're really trying to get away from that image by highlighting their tech savviness, for example.
Bündnis 90, die Grünen.
Next up are the Greens, who came in much later. Like, we're talking the 1980s here. The Greens are actually quite different from all of the other parties, since they grew out of these protest movements from the late 60s to late 70s, who advocated for all sorts of issues like women's rights, anti-war, anti-nuclear power, and obviously environmentalism. And they kept that revolutionary spirit going even after they upgraded to a proper party. Like, look at them! Look how uncomfortable he is. All those high-class politicians suddenly sitting next to literal hippies knitting in parliament. Now, obviously the old parties weren't happy with those green weirdos. I bet they don't even shower, they'd say. But then came a time in which the Liberals firmly placed themselves at the right hand of the Conservatives. Suddenly the Labour Party was without a partner.
Oh.
I think you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Hey, psst.
They
Green guy.
her up?
I didn't mean what I said about you and not showering. You actually smell quite nice. And thus came to be what's been considered kind of the natural state of German politics ever since, a red-green alliance as counterweight against a liberal-conservative one. Since then, the Greens have undergone a sometimes messier...
That's interesting. That's interesting. So I wonder, that's a little bit about how it is in the U.S., because Bernie caucuses with the Democrats.
Right.
So the independent party, I guess,
generally goes
there's
with
kind
the
of two in the...
And they usually break the
there's
ties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You try to get to the independents.
Right. But he's doing exactly what they did. Like, he has more weight if he's with a bigger party.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what they're doing here.
Evolution, with lots of infighting between their more left fundamentalist wing called the Fundis and their more moderate, sometimes even conservative wing, the Realos. However, that division seems to disappear a little since the Greens have grown so much in the recent years. Like, they've become massively popular, at least for the time being. They're still a very explicitly feminist party and fairly interventionist economically, but they try to soften the edges a bit to seem more appealing to a wider audience. It's 1989. David Hasselhoff has just torn down the wall. East and West will finally reunite. What a major historical event. You'd expect the end of the Cold War to be a pretty big political earthquake, wouldn't you? One that's surely going to leave its mark on the German party system. But remarkably, it wasn't. The few parties that did emerge from the New East were quickly sucked up by their already existing Western counterparts. Just like basically everything about the East. The only exception is Die Linke, which is the Eastern Party. So you might already be aware that East Germany was a dictatorship for 40 years. It was ruled in this very repressive way by one single party, the Socialist Unity Party, or SED. But here's the thing, when the wall fell and East Germany finally got some proper democracy, that party was not outlawed. No, it got to continue in the United Germany, but now reduced from a singular, unopposed regime to just one of many contenders in the democratic process. One with minimal success. Turns out having led a dictatorship doesn't actually sound good on your resume.
No.
So in order to rebrand it...
That's true. Like, who would want them to be in charge?
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Or even, claim to be one.
Yeah. But that's interesting, because that's like another way to get more parties, is you have parties that were in existence. You just have one come over. So the SED quickly changed its name to PDS, the Party of Democratic Socialism. The old Western parties were, of course, very much opposed to this new party, like even more so than against the Greens. But by this time, the PDS had already assumed a new role, that of the niche interest party for Eastern Germans. Turns out many people from the East were nostalgic, or at least sympathetic to the SED. So even though the Eastern Bloc had collapsed, socialism was very much still on the table. A little detour. What's the difference between socialism and social democracy? In many countries, the word socialism can mean a whole bunch of things, from public healthcare to abolishing property.
And if the word social democracy is even used, it's usually understood to be on the same spectrum as socialism. But I think most Germans would probably cringe at that, since historically we understand those two terms to be different categories. Now I know there are a whole bunch of scientific definitions for those words, but I think conventional wisdom in Germany has it that socialism tries to overcome capitalism, whereas social democracy tries to rein in its destructive powers. Again, you might call this just a matter of degree, but here we perceive those two parties to be on different slots of the political spectrum. One of them with considerably more historical baggage. Just to finish this off, it's actually quite hard for me to see what kinds of factions there are within Die Linke. I mean, obviously there are all sorts of flavors of different doctrinaire socialist beliefs, with most of them belonging to a more settled professional class. But then you do get the occasional nutcase who's still under surveillance of the German intelligence service. So for many people it's kind of a mixed bag. Despite that, there's been a lot of talk recently about including the Linke into the center-left alliance together with the SPD and the Greens. The argument is that we're now 30 years removed from unification and that the old guard has surely given way for a new generation of socialists to emerge who have nothing to do with the old dictatorship. You know, they just want to advocate for better wages and fighting poverty, but that's still up for debate. Die Linke is still associated with these radical economic proposals, as well as a weird pro-Russia stance. So, we'll see.
That's interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Why would they want to be weird, pro-Russia when that was what got them into the problems they were in? Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's blue.
Last one. Controversial.
Die Alternative für Deutschland. AfD.
The AfD was founded in 2013 by a bunch of right-wing conservatives who mainly campaigned on getting rid of the euro and returning to Germany's old national currency.
Oh, I didn't know.
Boring? Yes. But no, believe it or not, that was actually quite shocking. Our political parties share a large consensus, so they're all broadly for the European Union, they're all broadly for the same economic system, and they all broadly agree that climate change is really bad. And now the AfD came in to, shake things up a bit. Back then in 2013, I thought the AfD might become the sort of mirror image of Die Linke, where they occupy the same kind of spot in our political scene, just on the opposite side. One where they criticize the moderate center from a more ideological, populist perspective. That didn't happen. Instead, what happened was that the AfD was quickly taken over by far-right extremists with overt ties to neo-Nazi organizations with just despicably racist, homophobic, revisionist beliefs. The supposedly conservative side of the party has for the most part been on board with this partnership, although some have left out of protest, including the original founder of the party, which can never be a good sign. Yeah, and you can imagine their positions. They stylize themselves as the sort of fighters against SJW culture. They're hard on immigrants. They are the only rescue for a dying Germany. And that would be the good right. Like, maybe the conservatives are too mild. Maybe we did need a more staunchly right-wing party in parliament. But
that's what happened in the United States. The conservatives or the Republicans, they're the only ones that can save the country. They want to restore it to how it used to be, i.e. make America great again. All of these things, bring back all the generals, even the Confederate flag and all of that stuff. So
there's this vicious anti-democratic tendency that permeates the entire party, which is just sad. And yeah, in case you're wondering, the other parties have erected a giant wall between themselves and the AfD, deeming them basically untouchable. Will the AfD actually gain power? Like, maybe someday, but not now. Like, if the Greens or Die Linke have taught us anything, then that with more moderation, you will gain power in Germany. If you don't moderate, you're out. Dun, dun,
oh, no.
Dun.
What?
Oh, let's see. Is this an update?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't exactly end this on a high note, did I? I still hope you had fun, and hopefully you now understand a little bit more about sort of German politics. Just thank you for watching.
I thought maybe it was like, update! The AfD is much stronger than we...
I mean, he just kind of went down to like, it was all great, nice, bright colors, everything. All of a sudden, he just kind of
he could see the painting on the wall. Is that the right way to phrase that?
the writing on the wall.
The writing on the wall. Even back then, 4 years ago, of potentially the problems that would arise from their party gaining power.
Yeah.
And I think they are, right?
Yeah, I think so. As far as I know. So, all right. Well,
so that was like, I feel like what party do you choose? Because, well, they're teaming up. It seems like they team up a little bit, or a couple of them team up, or two team up. And so which one do you have to pick one, or do you just choose the person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you be an independent?
Yeah. Can you just be an independent and then choose whatever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would choose the party that closely aligns with your political, beliefs, because, even though the Green Party teamed up with the Red, I mean, there's still that faction of that new party that you line up with.
Yeah.
So you might not agree with everything, but you'll go in. That's kind of what's happening in the U.S. Like the conservatives, not everybody who's a conservative, believes in what the president is doing right now, but they much rather vote for that party than to vote for Kamala or something like that.
And I wonder if it's like in the United States, how, do you vote for the person, or the party? In the United States, a lot of, say, Democrats just vote for the party,
no,
I think that,
You're saying that they vote for just the president?
Yeah, I guess I'm just talking about
because you vote
over there.
Yeah, you don't vote for the party. I mean, you can. There is an option to vote straight down party lines for everything.
Yeah.
But usually you vote for the president, and that's why sometimes they have a split ballot where you vote for the president because you like the president, but your district judge or whoever you want to vote for might be on a different political party or something.
I guess I'm just saying, if you are a CDU and there's a particular person that's running and that's just your person, no matter what. Yeah. Or if you're I like this person better, do you go with the person?
Right.
Or do you just stick with your party?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Those are all great questions. I'm sure somebody out there can answer some of them for us. All right. Let's take a look here and see what the people have to say. All right. Fantastic video. What a clear guide. German politics doesn't seem so complicated now. Just in time to watch the election results. Oh,
that's 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Oh, dang. When's the next election?
It's every 4 years.
So we're in 2024. I saw probably 26, I bet.
For them? Is it maybe it's like ours?
Okay. All right. And note that it's okay. Einheitspartei Deutschlands. Socialist Unity Party of Germany. Not to let anyone think party would be some word beginning with D. Okay, I think we missed that one. One fact about the CDU. The CDU has a minor sister party in Bavaria called CSU. If you want to vote for the CDU in Bavaria, you have to vote for the CSU. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
I don't think you mentioned that.
No.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the little caricatures representing different party factors. If it's your art, you have a talent for drawing as well as political video making. All right. Oh, let's see what he says if it was his. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. That was a super interesting video. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a nice, lively discussion in the comments because we do have a lot of questions.
I know. And I know a lot of you, if you're in Discord and they talk about politics in the political channel only.
Yeah.
And you guys are mentioning all these abbreviated names.
Yeah, and all the colors.
Or the acronyms. And it's like,
Yeah.
We don't understand them. So.
Yeah, we don't understand. But we're learning. That's why we have this channel, so we can learn. So we do have another channel, Greg and Lisa React. And over there, we react on different countries in Europe with the primary focus on the UK. We have a Discord that Lisa was just mentioning. The link is in the description for that. Come on over and be a part of the conversation. Like the video, that really does help a lot. Wie immer, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Video.
Bis dann.
Peace.